if I told you the secret to your debt problem might be sitting right inside your house? Not in your checking account, not in your brokerage account, not in your 401k, your house. Now hold on, before you click away, I'm not talking about selling your house or refinancing your house. I'm definitely not talking about taking money and buying boats and ridiculous things that depreciate. I'm talking about something completely different. Let me show you. Some people are sitting on $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 in equity in their house. Yet they're still making payments on their car, on their credit cards, their lines of credit, all sorts of things. And it just boggles my mind that some people are still living paycheck to paycheck, but yet they're sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity. How the heck can that be? I want to get up to the top. Oh! And that's the question that I was trying to explain and answer. And it changed how I look at debt, cash flow, and building wealth. And most importantly, I'm gonna show you how most people spend their entire lives building equity in their homes, but they never learn how to use it. And if you stay to the end, I'm gonna show you how this isn't about real estate at all. This is more about how you need to become your own bank. I'll never forget buying my first home. It was out there in Lockport, New York. Everybody told me the exact same thing. Pay your mortgage, build equity, own your home free and clear someday. That was the dream, right? That still is the dream, or is it? Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that at all from the way I look at it. But one day, I started asking questions. Questions most people never asked, like, what exactly is equity? Why are we trying so hard to build equity? Is it just a tableside talk, or is there something actually to this equity thing? What is it actually doing for us? That was another question. Because when I looked around, I noticed something strange. A lot of people had equity in their house. They always bragged about it, but they still had debts. They had equity, but they still had stress. They had equity, but they still felt trapped. And then it hit me. You see, most people think equity equals wealth, but equity itself doesn't improve your life or your wealth at all. Cash flow certainly is what does that. See, you can't buy groceries with equity. You can't walk into the grocery store and be like, hey, I got equity in my house. Can I get this bread? You can't pay the electric bill with equity, last time I checked, and you can't take your grandkids on vacation with equity. You can't retire on equity either, not unless you understand how to make that equity work for you. That's where everything changes. Let's just use this as an example. Let's say your house is worth $400,000, and let's say you owe $200,000. This is pretty normal. Most people immediately would celebrate, yes, I've got equity. They tell everybody about their $200,000 in equity. They brag about it. That's wonderful. But let me ask you the exact same question. If that same person has $20,000 in credit cards, $30,000 in car loans, $15,000 in personal loans, and they're paying over $1,500 a month to service that debt, are they actually winning? Or are they simply wealthy on paper and just have bragging rights called equity? See, this is where most financial advice breaks down, because the advice usually focuses on net worth. I'm focused on cash flow, and you should be too. And the older I get, the more I realize that cash flow is freedom. Not net worth, not equity, it's cash flow that matters. Here's what happens to most people. They spend 20 or so years building equity in their house. Then they spend another 20 years trying to pay off debt. Maybe that's a bit drastic. And they never connect the two. The bank understands this, certainly. The credit card companies, well, they definitely understand this. And the lenders, well, they understand this too. The only people that don't understand that is us. Most homeowners certainly don't see it the way that a bank or a credit card company would. You see, your house is often the largest financial asset you have, but it's not even an asset, it's more of a liability. Probably is the least productive asset in your entire financial life. But why is that? It's because you're building equity while simultaneously paying double-digit interest somewhere else. The cash flow is leaving your household, leaving your family. And that's where you need to start thinking differently. Now, before I go any further, let's talk about what a home equity line of credit actually is. A HELOC allows the homeowner to access a portion, not all, but a portion of the equity that they've built in their home. So this is the good news. The equity can actually become real. Think of it like a credit line secured by a property. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should run out and get one, but almost everybody probably should. And I'm not saying that they're risk-free. There's definitely risk involved in this. And I'm definitely not saying that you should use one irresponsibly. What I am saying is that most people only see debt as a liability, but the sophisticated investors understand that debt can be a tool, and a very important tool. The key is understanding the difference between the two. Let's look at a simple example. Let's assume somebody has a house and that house appraised at 350 grand, but they had a mortgage balance of about 200,000. That means they got available equity of about 150 grand. Now let's just say your bank would give you roughly about 80%. That's about $120,000. They would give you a home equity line of credit. And let's compare two people. Family A, they leave everything as it is. In family B, they use their HELOC strategically to pay off debt and recycle the money they used to give to the debt companies back to their home equity line of credit. Now, let me just walk you through the visual. And I'm just gonna keep the numbers simple. Let's just assume $100,000 in equity of that 120. Now, again, I always like drawings and I like showing things with visuals, but this is what I like to call lazy cash. It's money that's lazy because it's just sitting in the walls of your house, doing nothing to help you. So for most people watching this video, it would make sense. If you don't have a home equity line of credit, you need to get one. Because why wouldn't you? If you don't want to use it, don't use it. Don't use it irresponsibly, like I said earlier. Every single day, your money is losing ground. Inflation is eating your savings. Debt is draining your income. And the financial system, it was never designed to work for you. But there is a way out. And the wealthy have known about it for decades. I'm hosting a free live training where I'll show you exactly how to eliminate debt like the wealthy do, how to preserve and protect your capital from the forces working against it, and how to build a clear step-by-step path toward true financial freedom. No gimmicks, no fluff, just a proven system that puts you back in control of your financial future. Seating is limited and it is completely free, but you need to act now. Click the link below or scan the QR code to reserve your spot today. The wealthy don't wait, neither should you. Now let's get back into the video. But you got 100 grand, okay? Now let's say your home equity line of credit is 7%, and that's about where they are, 7 to 8% today. But over on this side, okay, this side you've got debts. Now I'm just gonna make up some debts. You got credit cards that cost you $200 a month, and those are 20% interest. You've got a line of credit, which is costing you $100 a month, and that's 9% interest. You got a car payment that's costing you $500 a month, and that's only 5%. Then you got a student loan that's costing you $250 a month at 3%, and you got an appliance loan. Hey, you needed a new stove or whatever. That's costing you $150 a month at 24.99. Let's add these columns up, and all of you should do this on a piece of paper. Add up all your debts, and then I'm gonna show you how to figure out what the interest rate is that you're giving away, and then I'm gonna show you how to become the bank and make the spread. Again, let me repeat that. I'm gonna show you how to become your own bank and make a spread, just like a bank does. Is there anything else here that's giving you anything that builds wealth? Nope. None of these build wealth. It's just $1,200 of cash flow leaving your family forever. What the goal is to take that $1,200 and bring it back over to you as an asset so that it's not leaving your family, it's actually building your wealth and your cash flow. So let's just talk about how that works. You got $1,200 a month going out. Now I added up all these interest rates, okay? So 20 plus 9 plus 5 plus 3 plus 24.99, and I divided it by 5 because there's 5 debts. That means my average interest rate is 12.39%. Follow? Remember, the home equity line of credit, that lazy cash that's sitting in the walls of your house, it costs us 7% to use that lazy cash. And over here, we're giving away 12.39. Now, I know there's a lot of people that would be like, all right, I see where you're going with this, but I wouldn't pay off the student loans and I wouldn't pay off the car payment at 5%. Here's why you want to do that. We want one central place where your money's flowing. So let me give this to you simply. Let's take $100,000, okay? We're gonna take $100,000 of your home equity line of credit, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that in cash. That money goes in your bank account, and once it goes into your bank account, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pay off all these debts. We're gonna pay all of them off. Now, if you couldn't pay off every one of your debts, pay off whatever you can, but put them in order from lowest balance to highest balance. So we now paid everything off. A lot of people would be like, all right, honey, we're done. Look at that, we're debt-free. But you're not debt-free because now you took 100 grand of your equity at 7% simple interest and you paid off all these. You can't stop there. The next step is the most important. Remember, you were giving away $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month, which was costing you roughly an average of 12.39%. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a $1,200 a month payment back to your home equity line of credit. Now here's the fun part. When you do this $1,200 a month payment back to your home equity line of credit, two things are happening. Every month you have some of this $1,200 that is available again because you're replenishing the equity in your house. So that money becomes immediately available. But you are losing some interest. So what we want to do is we want to do a little mathematical calculation. Take the 12.39 minus the 7%, okay? And when you do that, you're making a spread of 5.39%. That is free and clear. Your cost is 7. You're making 5.39% as a spread, as an arbitrage. And you gained liquidity. Before, you had no liquidity. $1,200 cash flow, gone. Now when it comes back over here, the simple thing is, let's just do some simple math here. $1,200 a month times 12 months is $14,400. That's how much money was leaving your family every month. Now we've got $100,000 costing us 7% simple interest, which works out to be about $7,000. So if this is what we were giving away, and now the cost of our home equity line of credit is $7,000, you do the combination or the subtraction, you just made $7,400 a year as a spread. And if interest rates continue to go down, that spread widens. Now the risk, remember I said there is some risk, is that this interest rate goes up. Now, right now, here, June 2026, we're looking down the future, we're looking into the future, and we're seeing interest rates are probably going down. So you might be on the right side of the coin here. But think about that, $7,400 divided by 12, that is $616 and change extra cash flow in your pocket that you can use to take those grandkids or your kids on a vacation. You can use that money to better your life and actually maybe just save that for retirement. Save that for a brokerage account, an emergency fund. This money was literally created completely out of thin air in a roundabout way. But you are becoming your own bank. And by being your own bank, you do what a bank does and make a spread. Now, the simple thing to do is to add up all your debts. Find out how much money you're giving away. Figure out your average interest rate you're giving away. Run the math. What is your home equity line of credit going to cost you? And figure out, is the juice worth the squeeze? 5.39%, positive arbitrage, $616 a month, $7,400 a month net back to my family? Heck yeah, that makes sense because I took my lazy money and I made it go to work for me. This is where most people miss the opportunity. Everybody focuses on the interest rates. And a lot of people would say, I'm not doing a home equity line at 7. That's the problem. It's the wrong focus. The real prize isn't the interest rate, it's the cash flow. Imagine all those payments, okay, that we just talked about. Imagine all of those. What happens now? Instead of sending $1,200 a month out the door, you are now sending it back to your home equity line, making a spread of $7,400. That's all cash flow. Now something fascinating begins to happen. The HELOC balance begins to fall. So we didn't even cover that. If we took some of this money and we started applying it to principal, that HELOC balance drops. The available credit rises. The control increases. The stress decreases and options expand. Every month, the process accelerates. You see, most financial plans ask you to wait. Wait until retirement. Wait until your mortgage is paid off. Wait until the market goes up. Wait until someday. Wait. But what if your financial life improved this month? Because that could happen that fast. What if it improved next month? It took you a month to get approved for the HELOC. What if every month you began moving forward toward measurable progress? Would that be a good thing in your life? That's why so many homeowners become obsessed with understanding cash flow. This is how wealth is built. Because once you see where your money's actually going, you can't unsee it. Now, I want you to understand something. The HELOC is not magic, okay? The real magic is learning how the money moves. That's the lesson. The money went from the HELOC to the debts, paid them off, and came back to the same place. The wealthy think differently about money, just like you need to. They don't focus on accumulation. They focus on circulation. They focus on control. They focus on velocity, and they understand that every single dollar should have a job, and those jobs are jobs we need to determine. And every dollar needs, this is important, every dollar needs to come back home. So whatever you send out, it needs to go to work and come back. This is where things get interesting, because eventually people start asking a bigger question. If I can use equity in my house to improve my cash flow, what happens if I create a system that isn't tied to my house? What happens when I build a financial system designed specifically to recycle and recapture money, just like I showed? That's the question. And that eventually led me to study the infinite banking concepts. It's not a product. It's a process. The process of recapturing the cash flow that was leaving my household. The process of financing your life differently while being in full control. And the process of you becoming your own banker instead of being the borrower, which most people are. And that's when the entire game changes. You see, most people spend decades trying to build equity. Very few of them learn how to use it. And the best part about right now is the market has been very favorable to giving you equity without having to build it yourself. And that's why two families with the exact same income, the exact same house, the exact same opportunities can end up completely different regardless of how much equity they have in their house. One family kept making payments forever. Never felt like they were ahead. The other family learns how to redirect cash flow. And one family spends life serving the banking system. The other learns how to think and act like a banker. That's the lesson. The goal was never the HELOC. The goal was never debt elimination. That was just the starting place. The goal is control. Control over your cash flow, control over the banking functions in your life or the financing in your life, and control over your future. You see, once you understand how money actually moves, you stop asking, how much money do I need? And you start asking the best question, how much control of my money do I have? And those two are very different conversations. Hey, if you've enjoyed this episode, click that subscribe button right there. Help me help you.
Help me help you.
That sounded so dumb. But not only that, leave a comment down below and tell me, how much equity do you think is sitting idle in American families today? Well, comment down below, ask me that question, and I'll give you the answer and it'll surprise you. Hey, if you're ready to learn the next step in this journey, a strategy that teaches people how to truly become their own bank, then check this video out right here, BYO Bank. And when you're done with that video, give us a call, 866-329-BYOB. Let's chat. We'll see you on the next one.